here's Ted. We have 4 children. Ted worked construction and we traveled the world the years that he worked. We've got 4 children, 14 grandchildren. We have one in Los Angeles, one in San Diego, one in Gopher, Virginia, and one in McKinney. That should be about it.
Roy Schooley.
Well, I'm Roy Schooley. When I graduated, I went to construction and then got hired on with Bell. Retired after 30 years there. Got bored, went to work for Ace Hardware. Retired after about 12, 13 years there. Got bored again, went to work for a farmer. I'm not bored anymore. I think I've retired for my last time now. But we've got 3 kids. 2 of them here in Beasley with us, the daughter and the son. And the other daughter, she's in West Virginia. And then I've got 6 grandkids, 3 girls, 3 boys. And that's all I've had time to do.
Think it out. My name is Terry Gillum. I graduated in 1960. I worked 33 years at Roman Haas Chemical Company over here in Deer Park. Got 2 boys, one 43 and 38, I think it is, and 1 granddaughter. And retired 12 years ago, early retirement package, and moved way up in northeast Texas. We live in an old log home up there and love it. Got 12 acres, deer and fox and stuff playing around all the time. We just love it up there. Y'all can have the city. I'm gonna go up to the country.
Walter Cooling.
Class of 60, Walter Cooling. I know everybody here. I love you all. I've had a wonderful life, beautiful family, all the work I've ever wanted to do and some that I didn't. Enjoyed every bit of it. Life's been good. Whatever's left of it, make the most of it. And love each other.
Well, I'm starting over here.
A little louder,
I'm what? What do you
We know you can talk louder than that.
Pretend you're hollering at JC.
I'm an art. What?
You're hollering at JC.
Don't even mention his name to me. I'm an art instructor. I teach all painting classes and what else. This is my boyfriend.
Well, you got 2 kids.
I got 2 kids. 1 kids. Jeff, what else?
You teach art.
You teach art.
Hey, your son has a beautiful voice.
Yes,
And he plays the guitar.
Yes.
Yeah,
he does. You know where
He's
he's
very
playing
gifted.
now?
Huh?
He's playing on the barges in Shreveport right now.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah, he's very, very gifted. And he has less hair than me.
The only reason why, he shaves all of it. He's bald headed on top, but he just went ahead and shaved it all.
Yeah,
I
my
said,
son
Kelly,
does it.
any hair is better than none of it. He said, Mom, you just got to get with it. I said, I can't.
That's the best way.
I'm able to hear her.
Hello, I'm Sheila White Harrison. I married Ben Harrison, who was 2 years ahead of us at LaPorte High School. And after LaPorte High School, I went to Southwest Texas State College for a while, till I figured out I wasn't going to be able to get out of there without being a teacher, and I didn't think I could be a teacher. So then I got into accounting, finished up at University of Houston, got a degree in CPA, and was a treasurer and controller of an oil company, and then later on another oil company. Then I decided to do something different. I got into computer sales and did real well there. And then later started being a business broker, then later started my own business and partners with my sister. We produced the Houston Business Guide. And then later on, when I should have been retired, I started a television show, and I've been on it for 4 years. So I've been having a great time. Have one daughter, and she's married. Her husband's with Continental Airlines, and she's with AIM Management, the mutual fund folks. And they're having a great time, but they haven't had enough great time to give me any grandbabies, so I have to borrow other people's. Thank you. It's called The CEO Show, and it's on Phonoscope Cable and on the internet. I'll send you information.
Hey, she didn't need you, man. That's right. She did not need you.
I'm Gloria.
provided the
We're
income.
Eccles. Wayne and I have been married 50 years. I have 3 grandchildren and recently retired from UTA in Arlington, and then I've gone back part-time with them. So that's it for us.
Come on, Sharon.
You can do ours.
Come on, stand
You
up.
want to say something, Norris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now stand up.
Now stand up.
I had to do that.
My name is Shirley Hester Jordan. I graduated in 1960. I just retired. Well, I've been retired from Wyndham School District. That is a school in the Texas prison systems. And I love my job. I was the secretary to the principal. I have 8 grandchildren, 3 step-grandchildren, 5 kids between him and I. And we don't have ours. We have his and mine, and that's it. And we have 6 great-grandchildren, and the oldest is 6. Yeah, 6 to 1. So I bowl, I have a busy life, and I've enjoyed living. We live in the country, sort of like, and enjoy it. So that's all. It's your fault you talked me into this. Loves reunions.
It was all his idea. He called me before we got here.
I'm Carol Porter Cosa. I'm married to Eddie, 100% Czech. We have 3 children. I've spent many years working for Governor Bill Daniel as his financial manager. That's about it. I'm an artist.
Oh, another artist.
Full-time RVer, say that.
Oh, we're full-time RVers.
Yeah.
We RV all over, everywhere. And so that's about it.
Get the envy of the whole room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Jeff McMillan. I was a class of 60, and I graduated from school and started teaching school. I taught school 10 years, and after deciding that I wasn't ever going to make any money and I didn't really enjoy teaching that much, I went into law enforcement, where I stayed for 31 years. I was captain for 31 years. I retired about, 5 years ago this September 1st, and sat around the house for just a little while. I found out that I was never going to learn Spanish. Married my wife 26 years ago. She didn't know English and I didn't know Spanish, so we had a lot of help with her daughter. I have 2 boys of mine. One is Paul, the youngest one. He's RN on Life Flight out of Herman. So get a lot of good stories from that between the policing and the nursing. But I bought a little place 10 years ago up near College Station, if you know where Franklin is. So I go up there on the weekends, 40 acres, and I go up there and I work so hard I have to come back to work to get some rest. And I retired, like I say, and after about 6 months, well, I decided that I couldn't handle being at home any longer by myself because I have two sister-in-laws that live with us too. So decided that it was time to go back to work. So I now work, I'm sergeant over at Harris County Precinct 6 Constable's Office, and I do all the hiring and the backgrounds and other things. So that's about it. We've had a good life and we enjoy it. And, I go to LaPorte once in a while just to see all the things that I miss. If you remember, we lived right where the Dairy Queen is. Our house was exactly where that Dairy Queen is, and last night I had to go by the Dairy Queen and get me a little Coke or something just to go in and feel at home. So.
I was Bonnie Calvert, now Ailey Calvert, but still answer to Bonnie. And I haven't done anything. I lived in Tripoli, Libya for 2 years, came back to the States, and moved to Florida, and I now live in Tennessee, retired amateur photographer, and
Does some beautiful work too.
that's about it.
Franklin, Tennessee.
Now Sharon. Sharon was a smart one in the class. Let's get him.
No.
Yeah, that's right, I was.
I always thought
Who
of her.
was the valedictorian of the class?
And Lori.
And there you go. Sure wasn't me, right? but it took me 40 years to get my degree, and I finally got my bachelor's.
All right.
And now I have a master's in social work, and by the way, I did graduate cum laude, so I'm kind of proud of
Great.
that. And, I work for Sylvia Garcia. I started her social work department 2 years ago, and that's what I do, and I love what I do. And I have 2 grandkids, 2 great grandkids. The great grandkids are still this big. So that's it.
I'm Diane Soda Herod. I went to Lee College until I got married.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. We lived in Killeen and when he was in the Army, and then we moved to Houston, and then moved to Huntsville. Moved to Huntsville in 1971. We have 2 children and 6 grandchildren. Each child has 3, 2 girls and a boy. And I'm retired from St. Houston State University. I was secretary of the Department of Theater and Dance, and loved every minute of it. And I'm doing anything I want to do right now.
Hello, everybody. Most of you again. I'm Jerry Santee. I'm sorry for that, but that's the best I can do. Obviously, I graduated in 1960. Actually, they let me out. And graduated from San Jacinto Junior College, after which time I went full-time for 7-Eleven. And no doubt the best decision ever made in my life was in 1966 when I asked Suzanne, and she foolishly accepted to become my wife. Spent 37 years at 7-Eleven. We first started here in Houston, then they shut the Houston stores down, and we went to Florida for a little while, then into Dallas, and actually retired out of Dallas in the year 2000, did a little consulting work. We have 2 great kids. There's there's one in Katy with a boy and a girl grandkid, and then we have our son up in Frisco, and we have 2 grandkids up there with him. That's it. Thank you very much.
I'm Sid Wilkerson, 1960 grad, and I stayed in the LaPorte area for 6, 7, 8 years after I graduated, and then I left, and I met my wife Judy in San Antonio in 1968, and I never came back here to live. I now live in Bandera. We've lived there 30 years, and I have 2 daughters and 1 grandchild. And I've been in the plumbing trade for 41 years. I also teach a plumbing apprenticeship course now. I'm not retired yet, have no plans to do so anytime soon anyway. So if I drop dead tomorrow, I have no complaints.
I went to school in LaPorte in 1960. And after that, I went in the Navy, got out of the Navy, went construction, worked construction until 2000, and decided I'd just run my little business that I had, reception hall in Pasadena. And finally sold that and started drawing my money in 65 or 62 and a half, and I have not done anything except a little work around the house at times.
Very little. Very little.
What my wife tells me that I need to do a little bit more of, but and I do the cooking.
Oh my God.
So she works, and I just try to lay around the house with my dogs. Thank you very much.
Which direction are we going? This one?
Yes.
That way? I'm Diana Banta Garrett. I went to UT Austin after high school for a little while and got married in '66. We have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, and 7 grandkids. And have one son lives in Deer Park, and a daughter in Bastrop, daughter in McGowan, and then a son that just moved to California. So looking forward to doing some traveling out to California. Didn't take me quite as long to get my degree, but I finally got my college degree the same year that my oldest son graduated from high school in '86. So always something that I felt was unfinished. I've worked for Methodist Hospital, secretary in the radiology department. I've been there almost 20 years now. Looking forward to retiring in about 2 more years, probably.
I'm Barbara Baker Warnock, and I now live with my sister in San Antonio. I'm retired. I've worked as a bookkeeper, and my late husband and I were cross-country truck drivers, and never had any children, and I'm enjoying retirement.
I'm Marie Wheeler Ellison. I worked for 37 years for one law firm, and I'm retired, enjoying it, and just enjoying life.
I'm Robert Herron. I left LaPorte, got married in '62. My first wife, I was married 30 years. Divorced, remarried a longtime friend of mine. We were married for 20 years. She passed away last April. I worked 34 years. It was USI and become Ecrastar Chemical. 30 years firefighter, volunteer and industrial. I used to be the fire chief at Deer Park. I've got 3 kids, 2 sons and a daughter. My daughter lives in Deer Park. She's got 3 kids. I got 1 son in Pasadena, 1 son in Beaumont, ex-wife in Pasadena.
All my exes
All
live
my
in Texas.
I live in Lake Livingston. I live on the lake. I took my training and experience. I'm a ham radio operator. My wife was a ham radio operator. I'm Polk County Emergency Coordinator. Work up there. That keeps me busy. I have 55 people that work under me during the emergencies. Right now, I went back to work after 10 years of retirement. I retired when I was 58, and I took a job in Florida. I've been working the oil spill in Florida as a safety officer over there, and probably heading back there pretty quick. So it's just too lucrative, and kind of gets me and gives me a change of location because I'm still suffering from my wife's death there. So, but anyway, enjoying life. I feel good. Losing weight, got all my medical records right, so I'm enjoying life.
Good.
I'm Vicki Presley. I taught school for 39 years. I've been retired for 2 years. I taught children with autism for many, many years, and right now I'm a member of the Red Hat group. A bunch of old women get together and go out to eat, and I have bukus of red hats and purple feathers, and just fix up and go get it. And I'm also a volunteer with the rodeo. I have been for many years, and It's good to see everybody.
I'm Larry Hayes. My wife Kay of 45 years. We have 2 boys, 5 grandkids, 1 girl, 4 boys. When I got through with, when we got married, I went into graduate school. She made me quit when I was 30.
Full-time
Had to go to work. Worked as research, did some teaching, did some sales. We live up in Denton right now, and between woodworking and traveling, I'm pretty busy. So, enjoyed meeting everybody again.
I'm Carolyn Hebel Emanuel. After school, Carolyn Hebel Emanuel. After high school, I went to Lee College for 1 year and met Robert through a blind date on March the 17th, and we were married August the 11th, 5 months later. And we've been married 49 years. We have 2 children and 2 grandchildren. And he keeps me busy going on trips. Anywhere in the world he wants to go, I can follow.
I'm Carl Lee Northcutt. Everybody knows me that way. I'm a class of 60. Louder. Louder. Can't hear you back there. Maybe I face this way. So you can hear us.
I need to go get the microphone.
Anyway, I've had kind of an interesting periods in my life. Interesting periods. Joe Ann, who graduated from Robert E. Lee, and I got married. That's almost 50 years. We're just knocking on the door of 50 years. Sometimes hard, sometimes easy, but it's been an interesting life. She's gone with me everywhere I've been. We got married, went to Memphis to Port Arthur, here, back to Florida to Corpus to back here, and then I wound up down in the Caribbean as a terminal manager of an oil terminal, storing oil for the Saudis. And I've had a real interesting bounce around. I had planned on retiring on this island in the Caribbean. St. Eustatius is the island, and I got sick down there and had to be medevac back to the States. Got home, got over all the surgery that I had, and started doing pretty good. And my wife and I have a pretty small house here in Fairmont Park, and lo and behold, I had a daughter move in, and her daughters.
They always come back home.
And I had to do something, so I got out of the house and I went back to work a little bit. I work out in Bayport, and I punch some buttons, let some water through to all the plants and stuff. I work a little raw water pump job. And it gets me out of the house. You know, I work about 35, 40 hours a week. And it's the best job I ever had in my life. I wish I'd have found it about 40 years ago. And that's been basically my life. Good from Pearl. Oh, I didn't tell my children. I've got 2 sons and a daughter. And when you see all these boats and barges going up and down the channel, about 75% of them belong to the companies that my boys work for, and that's Kirby Corporation. Richard's fleet manager. No, I'm saying it backwards. Carl is fleet manager, and Richard is operations vice president for all the barges and stuff. So, that's my boy.
Wayne Mouton, 1960.
Wayne Mouton.
Hey, can my wife do this for me? Hey, anyway, to start with, I had a compulsion to go around and look everybody in the eye and talk to them starting yesterday. And I was thinking, why do I have this compulsion? Because I wasn't really that friendly in school. You know, except with the people I ran around with, seriously. And Judy Cook revealed that. Yesterday I was trying to pick on her and get around her, and she'd run away from me. And I asked Tink, I said, what's wrong with Judy? And he said, she's probably mad at you. But anyway, I finally cornered her, and she said, because you were stuck up in high school. And you know what? She was right. That was one of my flaws. But you know, at 35 years old, I invited Jesus Christ into my heart. And I got saved and I got born again. He gave me a new heart, and he gradually changed a lot of my negatives, you know, created more positive. But anyway, I'm thinking maybe that had something to do when I wanted to look everybody in the eye and make sure who everybody was, because hey, we don't know how many of these we have left, right?
It depends on how many you want to come to, kiddo.
In the afterlife too. But anyway, I have truly enjoyed this. I really have. It's been a blessing, you know, seeing everybody and talking to everybody. It's really, truly been a blessing.
How many kids you have?
We have 3 sons. One's in Oklahoma City, one's in LaPorte, one's in Florida. We have, 6 grandchildren in 2 grades. And God bless you all. I've enjoyed it. It's been wonderful.
That's a lie.
Which part? All of it?
My name is...
You
forgot. He'll think of it. I'm CEO trainer. Go back to work now. Have for about the last 30 years. Something like that. I'm not going to tell you when I graduated. I'm going to hope all of you can figure that out. I started saying that to tell you I graduated in 1958. See if I made the first critical mistake I made, and I'll get that out of the way right now. Right after I graduated out of high school, I married a girl from Deer Park, Texas. And, you know, you'd have to forgive me for that, but I'll tell you, in November, we're going to hit 49 years. 49 years of marriage, and I think it's going to last. We have 2 beautiful children, a daughter and a son. Our daughter lives in Clear Lake, and they have 1 child. We have 1 beautiful grandson. That's all we've got. So I hear a lot of people talking about having great grandchildren and whatnot. We feel so blessed just to have 1 grandchild, a little grandson. And we got news about 2 weeks ago, we're getting ready to have a 2nd grandchild. My son's going to have 1, and that's big news for us.
That's going to be medical history.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Just about.
As far as what I've done, since I've got out of school, I went to work for Continental Airlines. Started out as low as you could, throwing bags on the airplane, and I got some good breaks and worked my way up through the cycle. And I used to run big cities, big clubs for Continental, and I retired after 35 years with Continental. Stayed retired for about 6 months, realized I was much too young to retire. Went to work for Halliburton. And I headed up a big piece of their International Human Resources Department, and I went overseas and worked in some of the garden spots like Macedonia and Bosnia and Iraq, and, Chad, Africa, and places like that. So I did that for about 8 years, and then I finally retired in 1997 for good. I play a lot of golf, and Mary and I are very active in our church. We travel a great deal, and we're just thoroughly enjoying retirement, and it's just so good to see everybody here. I tell you, you know, I told Mary when we came to this thing, I said, I guarantee you, honey, the first liar's never going to have a chance. I said, every time you walk up, somebody said, my God, you had hardly changed. I said, really? Okay. No. Anyway, it's a great time. We're really enjoying it, and it's good to be here.
Hey, you made a commitment last night. You said you were thinking about growing a beard. You remember?
Well, I'm not able to grow hair on my head, Wayne, so I may try.
Good show, son.
Tanker.
Tanky Cartmel, live in Porter Connor, Texas. I'm a fishing and hunting guide. I've been doing that for approximately 15 years. I worked for a glass company most of my adult life. I have a daughter, be 50 in January, and a granddaughter. And I'm still fishing and hunting every day, trying to keep up with those young bucks. And nothing's broke yet, so I feel blessed with that. And I want to repeat what Wayne said about seeing all of y'all and how nice it was and how nice of people y'all are. I'm so I don't know the word, so impressed how nice everybody is. And I know we all grew up together, and that was one thing that's different than big schools. And y'all saw that picture I had last night with our first grade. A lot of us were in it. I mean, we've all known each other for probably 60 years. So it's nice to see all y'all. Y'all all look great. I enjoyed seeing each and every one of you. Hope to see you again soon.
I'll stand. If I can, wait a minute. Try to hold yourself up. Yeah, right. Hi, I'm Pat Harper. I graduated in 1960. I left right after high school, went to Houston, got married, lived all over the United States, from LA to San Francisco to New York, back, traveled over in other countries, and I got into real estate, stayed in real estate for like, well, still in 15, 20 years or so. And right now I'm staying with my sister in Pasadena because she's very ill, and I've been trying to help her. And other than that, that's it. I have one son, and he has one child. It's 4 legs, a dog. He does not want any children, so she's my granddaughter, and I can hardly wait to see what the grandchildren. Anyway, and so that's it. I have 2 stepchildren. They have, one has 3 boys, one has 2 girls, and they live in Houston and Baylor. Where's Baylor? Waco. In Waco, yes, my stepdaughter's there. Everything else is fine. I enjoyed this. Thank you.
I'm Terry Davidson. I still live in LaPorte. I lost Mary in '94, unfortunately. I did remarry 5 years ago. And unlike CL and Pat and some of you others, I'm still in LaPorte. I didn't save up any money, so I couldn't leave. But it was great seeing each and every one of you. And everybody, really, I think CL had it wrong a minute ago, because everybody, once you look at them good, they still look the same. So, hey, it was really great. Sure. And we're going to do our 75th back at the Hilton. That was the best one.
Albie, you're next.
Albie.
I'm Albie King. Sharon and I have been married for 51 years.
I was there.
I've spent 45 years of my life making us a living, and retired in '06. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with Sharon. I got 2 kids, 9 grandkids, 3 great grandbabies, and I love seeing all you people too. Love being here. Glad to see all of you.
I'm Gerald Sauter, and I had the opportunity to graduate with quite a number of these people in '60. But I was a dedicated bulldog, so I went back and took another year. Yeah. Charlie Steele wrote in my book, he said I was going to be the only guy that retired out of high school. That's not true, by the way.
No, James Allen beat you.
James Allen. Well, I had a watermark, okay? I married Mary Jo Futrell, and I lost her September 3rd last year. 3 kids, 2 girls, 1 boy.
4 grandkids, 2 and 2. I was a union carpenter for 26 of those 40-something years. I was a union representative. Don't say anything, Sue. It was an enjoyable experience. It was certainly different than anything I had done before, but I was really good at it. I retired 8 years ago, and now I'm back raising a family again. So most of you know what that's like. My daughter and her kids have moved in with me. We bought a house back in LaPorte, where it all started. And we're in Glen Meadows now, and things are good with the grandkids and the new dog. I hope that's the end.
And we sure do miss Mary Jo.
I'm Mike Murdishaw, and I can beat Gerald. I finally graduated in '76. I bummed around Houston quite a bit for the last 50 years. Got 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren. That's enough to keep anybody busy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm William Sullivan, sorry. This is my husband, Ronnie. After I graduated from high school, I was working at DuPont, and I met Ronnie on a blind date. We married 1 month after we met.
Man.
And we're to have our 50th next year.
Yay!
And I was a stay-at-home mom for several years, and Ronnie had his own business for several years. And he needed someone to come in and answer the phone in a new business he started. And I volunteered for a short time. And 15 years later, we sold the business and we retired. And we are enjoying retirement very much. We have 2 daughters, one in California, one in New York. And Ronnie plays a lot of golf and tennis. I play tennis, and I'm an artist. And that's what we do now. And we just love it. And it's wonderful seeing everybody. This has been more fun. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Jackie Northcutt Payne, and I live in Salado, Texas now. After I graduated from high school here, I think my mother and grandmother conspired, and they put me on a train, and I went to Dallas, and I worked there in Dallas and took some classes, and then I met and married, and I had 3 children. And then later I have helped raise 4 other children, and so I've always had children in my life. I've lived in Colorado and Florida, and now I'm back in Texas. I'm excited about that. And I live in Salado, Texas, which is a charming place, just about 45 minutes out of Austin. And it's a hurricane hole for my whole family. So it really is great. Except just recently we had a flash flood there, and my sister and I were joking on the telephone about, you know, maybe I needed to evacuate and come to her house and because of this flash flood and the rain we got, and never dreaming that my car would be totaled. But it was, but luckily enough I have the right insurance. So, anyway, it has been wonderful seeing all of you tonight. I've been one of those persons that has been away from LaPorte for many years, but this has just been charming to see so many of you and to realize we had a wonderful hometown. And I'm glad I was raised here.
Good.
Hi, I'm Nell Northcutt. I'm actually kind of a gate crasher to this. I graduated in 1964. I have 3 children and 8 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. I went into Houston shortly after graduation and went to nursing school and have been nursing, still nursing. Work with the Chambers County WIC program. Married my husband, Bill Purser, about 2 years ago. And I have children. Oh yeah. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. I said 3 children.
We
8
haven't had any kids.
Looking forward to graduation. No, looking forward to retirement probably within the next year. Although I have this feeling I'll probably be going back to work after that too, because I've worked too many years. But I was very pleased that my brother and sister included me in on their retirement, retirement party, their party, and class reunion. I'll get it out right. And thank you for letting me be part of this, and I do remember so many of you too from the years that have gone by. Thank you.
You made this all
Yeah, she worked at House.
I think we all worked at Powell's or Farkas.
She also was behind the drug counter too. So if you guys
I'm
think
Tim
that's
DeWalt, and after high school I worked at DuPont for about 7 years. I got a degree in industrial education while I was there. They helped me pay for it. I went to Beaumont, taught school over there 5 years. And old Key Jobson and Mr. McDougal called me up and said, "Hey boy, we're building a vocational building. Come over here and put your application in." I went there and put my application in and stayed 20 years. So I was at the high school way longer than anybody else.
You got beat out, Bert.
I had 2 daughters. I lost one with leukemia when she was 7. The one that's left is 44, and she has 3 girls. The grandkids keep me busy. Thank you. Enjoyed seeing everybody.
I'm Leon Smith. This is my wife, Pat. We just finished up 41 years 2 weeks ago. I went to the other institution of lower learning back and got a degree in veterinary medicine and graduated from A&M in '65. Military picked me up for 2 years in the, as veterinarians we go in as food inspectors. But you do get to go in as a captain, and that makes a lot of difference in your pay scale. In the Army we basically were just truant officers trying to keep the guys from killing each other, and then we inspected produce. I was stationed over in Korea for 13 months, so that was an interesting tour of duty. I've practiced veterinary medicine there on the west side of Houston for 40 years. The word retirement is not in my vocabulary. I've got a place out in the country, started planting pecan trees about 4 years ago. Got a herd of llamas, 19 of those. That's another problem. I'm thinking we've got, and I'm even thinking here in the next couple of months starting planting some grape vineyard. I'm not going to get into the wine making aspect of it. I'm not going to sit there on Sunday morning pouring wine in your glasses, try to peddle it. But there is an industry for or an interest in the grapes, because of these vineyards just the wineries are not making enough grapes. And I'm just fooling around. I'm not interested in retiring, or they'll find me in a mason jar one of these days in one of the fence post holes at the farm. I've got 3 children, a son that teaches 6th grade science in Katy. I've got a daughter that's got 2 grandsons. I have another daughter that works on the computer, and she's got 4 granddaughters. So that keeps us busy. And I enjoy it. We want to sit down and meet the rest of the folks after this is over. So.
Oh dear Lord.
I'm Barney Lowry. I was also in the class of 1960. I spent about 3 years in the Army from 62 to 65. While I was up there, stationed outside of Kansas City, I met one of these mafia queens of the and
Have you got a ride home?
anyway, we married December 28th of 1962, which is December 28th will be 48 years for us. We have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and we have 6 grandchildren. And on her 21st birthday, my oldest granddaughter went in and made me a great grandfather.
No, just great. One great.
Just one great? Really great.
That's still great.
The gist behind that was I wanted to say that I used the great as an adjective to describe what a good grandfather is. And it's okay if I say I'm a great grandfather. But anyway, Miss Beverly, I would like to personally, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate and thank you for keeping a bug in my ear and keeping emailing my wife and get me to come to this. I have, from the bottom of my heart, have enjoyed it tremendously. And it's been a pleasure to see some of these people. Probably 99% of them I haven't seen in 50 years. And thank you very much.
Stop laughing at me.
Go in.
Go, girl.
Go. I'm Ann Rhymes Razzo. I graduated in 1960. I left LaPorte High School and went to business college for 2 years. Last night someone came up to me and they said, "Oh, I know you. You were the typing champ." And I'm going, "Yeah, I was." And it served me well.
Because she had the only electric typewriter school had.
You had to score good on your words per minute. You had to. That's how you got the one electric typewriter that we had. I went to work in Houston. I met my husband, Rudy. We were married in 1967. We had 1 son. Unfortunately, our marriage ended at 37 and a half years when he passed away. He has an extended family. Well, our 1 son passed away when he was 19. He was going back to college for his sophomore year and had a heart attack. After that, Rudy's extended family is quite large, and they have adopted me. And you know, I've always been part of the family, but now I'm really part of the family. It goes down to where I have 17 great nieces and nephews. So I'm busy, and I'm still working at a law firm downtown in Houston. I've been there 27 years, and I don't plan to retire. They're probably going to chain me to my chair. That's it.
Hello, I'm Peggy Phelps Boyett, and after graduation, I went to Sam Houston, stayed there a while, had a date, and then I got married. Had a date, and then I got married.
She had no dates in high school.
No, not at all.
No.
Anyway, I worked at banks before, and in Baytown and here in LaPorte, and I got a job with LaPorte High School, registrar's secretary at the high school, and I was there 20 years. I have 2 girls. They're in their 40s, and I have 3 grandchildren, a granddaughter that's 24, a granddaughter that's 13, going on 21, and a grandson that's 17, and he is a senior now at LaPorte High School, and he's doing very good. But
right.
I've been retired now for about 10 years. I work part-time at Deer Park Schools occasionally and sub. But I'm really enjoying my retirement. I'm happily single, and
One day, shit.
One day.
Yeah, and I have really enjoyed seeing everybody again. It just warms my heart to see all of the friends that we had fun with, that I mean, even people that were in the grade before you or behind you, you still consider them kind of part of your class. and LaPorte was so nice then. We were great kids. We were great high school kids. You should see them now. See them now. But I really enjoyed seeing everyone. It's been great.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Judy Cook Irby. I graduated in 1960.
Can't believe nobody knows her.
Yeah. And this is my husband, Cliff. We've been married for 21 and a half years. Between us, we have 6 kids, 7 grandchildren. We both are retired. I retired from dealing cards on the riverboat in 2002. And we travel all the time and just enjoy it. And I have, like Sharon, I haven't seen her since we graduated. This is so good. I didn't even know who she was. All I saw was her back, and when she stood up, I said, oh my gosh. So I gotta go talk to her. But it has been so good remembering all the good and bad memories from school, but most of them were good. And seeing everybody, and I'm agreeing with CL, nobody's changed. Just him. He grew 6 inches and lost his hair. But other than that, he's still the same. And Beverly and everybody else that helped, this has just been spectacular. And I think they all deserve a hand. And a great big thank you from all of us, because this has just been great. And I think we ought to do it not in another 20 years, but maybe next year. And even if it's just at a park somewhere for a picnic. Yes. Just everybody get together, because this is so good.
It's your house.
Let's face it. What?
It's your house.
We live in the country and
In a travel trailer.
No, we have a travel trailer.
Bring it to the park.
Oh, okay, we'll do that, and y'all can just all pile in. Okay, and it's just been great seeing everybody. And that's it. That's enough.
Hit it and it.
All right, record. Go. Where to get your face?
I'm Beverly Powell Hobson. I'm the class of 1963. I'm also an artist and also make jewelry, design jewelry. My main job is working with LaPorte High School, coordinating reunions for all of the years. We've done from the 1959 class all the way up to 1997 so far. And we're supposed to do the 40s next year. But this is so much fun because we notice that everybody thinks there used to be cliques in schools, you know, in your classes. There were higher ups and lower down. But when you have a reunion, you realize we're all the same. And we're all friendly. We weren't shy. If we were shy then, we're not now. And so we learn and we have new friends. And we've made new friends. And I think that at least by every 2 years, you need to have lunch, you need to have dinner, whoever just wants to come. But we need to keep in touch, and you really do need to do that. It keeps us young.
Thank you.
They have really pitched in and made this a big success.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.